Nearly 24 earthquakes have happened off the coast of British Columbia over the past week, several over magnitude 5 or 6. You can see the cluster of them here on this map. Those orange squares are quakes from over the past day, and the most recent happening just this morning. Joining us now is the director of the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network, Tobin.
Thanks for being in today.
Thank you.
Anytime we talk about a lot of these earthquakes, people are just like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So, let's just get to the basic question. What does that mean?
Yeah. Well, maybe the first one to say is it doesn't mean that we're about to see the big one or something imminent about,
Right.
Everybody's heard about the offshore Cascadia subduction zone, the potential really big one with tsunami associated. These earthquakes that have been happening, it's been productive, right? Magnitude 6.4 yesterday, a bunch of ones that are larger than magnitude 4, 3 larger than magnitude 5. They're all on a different fault system, even further offshore. That's at the spreading center, as we call it in plate tectonics, the Juan de Fuca Ridge.
Ah, okay.
What does that tell you about what's going on? Is that something that you guys normally see?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, this particular spot has been very productive of big earthquakes over time. Back in 2018, we had a 6.8 there, and there's been more than 20 since 1980 in that region. They're far enough offshore that basically they're almost not felt by people on land at all. What they tell us is that the plates really are moving. The thing that is driving the potential ultimately for the big one closer to our shore, this is just sort of a sign that all of that system is active and alive. Now, again, I don't think this changes the imminence, but it also doesn't reduce the likelihood of a big earthquake for us here in the Pacific Northwest.
Fascinating. Wow.
This is basically, it's normal. When it gets down to it, it's normal. But we still have to talk about it because anytime, especially you have quakes that are over, say, a 4, you get into that 6 range, it kind of triggers that, the 6.8 that we had on the Nisqually fault, totally different fault. But people sometimes don't pay attention to specifics.
Yeah, absolutely. A 6.4, if it happened here on land around where people were living, would really shake us and also potentially cause some damage. So, it's a significant sized earthquake. Happens to be 100 miles off the coast, so not a big deal in this particular event. One thing that's notable about it, though, is this was the first time actually the ShakeAlert earthquake early warning system was activated for anywhere in Washington so far. It's been live for 3 years. We've had this earthquake early warning system. It just touched a little corner of sort of Nia Bay, the Olympic coast, where it was large enough potential shaking predicted that some people got alerts on their phones.
Right.
Correctly got alerts on their phones, but really nobody was shaken very hard by this earthquake.
Having grown up around here, we deal with the earthquakes, and she's not as used to it. Although, being from California, you have your own set of issues down there. But we seem to have had different ones that you're talking about. We've got the Nisqually, then you've got everything that's going on up at Mount St. Helens, and we had a whole swarm of them up there. How do those relate to anything? Is any of this all tied together, or are they all separate events?
They're separate events from the points of view of interacting directly with each other as individual earthquakes. They're all tied together by the fact that we are fortunate enough to live in an active system, a place that is seismically active. That's because we have these moving tectonic plates. The fact that Mount Rainier's out there and the other volcanoes, it's all part of plate tectonics. So unfortunately are the earthquakes that can cause some damage. The ones at Mount St. Helens that have happened recently, again, are not really concerning because they're part of Mount St. Helens' sort of typical, normal, everyday background activity. It waxes and wanes a little, but when we see it go outside of its normal background, that's when we sit up and pay closer attention. Same goes for the offshore faults.
Right.
If we really thought something different was happening, we would certainly be letting folks know.
Wow. It's all fascinating stuff. Thank you so much for being with us and sharing your insight. Now, a reminder, the ShakeAlert early warning system, as Harold mentioned, can give you a heads up before an earthquake starts. Alerts are sent through the MyShake app. The state's warning system will send automated alerts straight to your phone, but the app can do it faster, and it is free to download. Thank you so much, Harold.